Okay, the topic for this video is multiplying fractions. To multiply fractions by hand, you multiply the top times the top, so 7 times 1 would be 7, and you multiply the bottom times the bottom. 6 times 8 would be 48. So the answer here is 7 over 48. You would try to reduce that, but there's nothing that will divide into 7 and 48. Now, you can use your calculator. This is my preferred calculator. Okay. I have a discussion board up about how to use the calculator to multiply fractions. You will have to practice with your calculator and make sure you're getting the correct answers. Number 2, this is an interesting one. The 19 on the top will cancel with the 19 on the bottom. So the answer is going to be, sorry, that's supposed to be a 14 on top and a 13 on the bottom. Now, while I'm here, let me talk about improper fractions and mixed numbers. This is what's called an improper fraction because the top number is larger than the bottom number. If the top number is bigger, it's called an improper fraction. To convert it to a mixed number, okay, let's do that over here. What you do is you divide the bottom into the top, so 13 goes into 14 one time with a remainder of 1, and your remainder goes over the denominator. So as a mixed number, this is the answer as an improper fraction, and this is the answer as a mixed number. You can go from mixed numbers to improper fractions to mixed numbers. Number 3, find the product in lowest terms. Okay, I'm going to show you some, I don't want to call it tricks, but let's look at this. 9 goes into 27 3 times, so I can reduce those. 12 and 32. Well, 12 will not go into 32, 32 will not go into 12, but they could be reduced. Let's think about what will go into both of those. Well, 4 will go into 12 3 times. So if we divide 12 by 4, we would get 3, and if we divide 32 by 4, we would get 8. So this is going to cancel and leave us 12 divided by 4 is a 3, and 32 divided by 4 is an 8. So on the top we have 3 times 3, which is 9. In the denominator we have an 8. Now again, this is an improper fraction. The reason that it's improper is because the top is bigger than the bottom. If I want to convert it to a mixed number, I divide 8 into 9. That goes in there one time with a remainder of 1, and your remainder goes over the denominator. This is the mixed number. And you have to look out on which form Hawks wants. Okay, number 4. Let me simplify this because I probably explained that one too complicated. Let's just multiply the top times the bottom. So let's just multiply. I'm going to use my calculator, and let's multiply 20. Oh, let me cut it on first. 28 times 30. Okay, I'm getting 840. This is just straight up multiplying the top and multiplying the bottom. And in the denominator, I have 21 times 40. We know 21 times 4. Let's see, that's also 840. And oddly enough, 840 divided by 840 is 1. Now, I could have done some cross multiplication like I did on the previous example, but I don't. I ain't going to let you use a calculator, so you can do it either way. Let's look at the last one. This 4 does not have a denominator, so I'm going to put it over 1. So 3 times 4 is 12. Whoops, sorry. 10 times 1 is 10. Now you do have to reduce. Again, you can use your calculator, but it's up to you to figure out how to get the calculator to reduce for you. I'm going to reduce by hand. This is divisible by 2. 10 is also divisible by 2, so that leaves me with 6 over 5. Once again, this is the improper form of that number. And then the mixed form, we would say, okay, 5 goes into 6 one time with a remainder of 1. So it would be 1 1/5. Let's see if we can move over to the other page. This is a lot more of the same. You can multiply your tops, multiply your bottoms, and reduce, okay? Let's use the calculator for number 7. So let's say we'll do 5 times 3 times 32. I'm sorry, 55. 55, forgive me. 55 times 3 times 32. And my calculator tells me that that gives me 5,280 in my numerator. Okay, in the denominator, I'm going to multiply the denominator here and the denominator here. So 20 times 16 times 5, and I'm getting 1,600. Now, I'm just going to use my calculator this time, okay? So what I'm going to do, and I know we might not all have the same calculator, but it's your responsibility to figure out how to make your calculator work for you. 5,280 divided by 1,600. And my calculator is giving me a decimal of 3.3. Now, you cannot give a decimal answer to a fraction problem. And since this problem started with fractions, we have to have a fractional answer. Now, I know that that's 3 3/10 because the 3 is in the tens place. So I know that this is going to be 3 3/10. But if you don't know that, you can use your calculator to convert from a decimal to a fraction. Mine is super simple. I press the blue button, I press fraction to decimal, and press enter. It'll give me 3 3/10. Let me really quickly show you how to go from a mixed number to an improper fraction. Let's change colors here. So what you do is you multiply 10 times 3, and then you add the top. Oh, that's supposed to say add. So 10 times 3 is 30, plus 3 is 33 over 10. And this would be the improper form of that mixed number. So you have it as both. This is improper, and that's the mixed. These are very, 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 very similar. I think I'm going to move on to the word problems. Yeah, let's move on to the word problems. Let's go to these real quick. Of the books in a personal library, this is number 18. Of the books in a personal library, 3/4 are fiction. Of these books, 1/5 are paperback. What fraction of the books of the library are fiction and paperback? What we want to do here, excuse me, is we want to multiply. So 3/4 times 1/5. 3/4 of the book are fiction, and 1/5 of those are also paperback. We'll multiply our tops. 3 times 1 is 3. We'll multiply our bottoms. 4 times 5 is 20. And the answer is 3 over 20. 3/20 of those books are both paperback and fiction. Number 19, there are 3,000 students in Mountain High School. 2/3 of these students are seniors. If 3/4 of the seniors are in favor of the school forming a debate and 7/10 of the remaining students not seniors are also, how many students? Oh, wow. Let's read this one again. Okay. There are 3,000 students. 2/3 of these students are seniors. Okay, first thing, I'm just going to go ahead and figure out what that is. So what is 2/3 of 3,000? That's a pretty easy one because 3 goes into 3,000 1,000 times. 1,000 times 2 is 2,000. Okay, so off the top, I know that I have 2,000 seniors. That's from the first sentence. There are 3,000 students, and 2/3 of these are seniors. Okay, it says 3/4 of the seniors are in favor of forming a debate team, and 7/10 are also 7/10 of the, okay, so 3/4 of the seniors, okay, there's 2,000 seniors. There's 1,000 other students because there's a total of 3,000 altogether. So 2,000 are seniors, 1,000 are other. 3/4 of the seniors are in favor of forming a debate team, and 7/10 of the remaining students are also in favor of forming a debate team. How many students do not favor this idea? This is super complicated. Okay, so 3/4 of the seniors are okay with a debate team, and then 7/10 of the remaining students are okay. So we have to figure out how many are okay, and then the question is actually asking us how many do not. So we're going to have to subtract. Okay, let's see. 4 goes into 2,500 times 500 times 3 is 1,500. So we have, let's go over here, 1,500 here. 10 goes in there 10 times, 100 times. 100 times 7 is 700. So we have, this is the total number who are in favor of the debate. So 1,500 plus 700 is 2,200 are in favor. Now, this is super complicated. It's asking how many do not favor. Well, 2,200 do favor, so we have to take the total number of students, which is 3,000, minus the 2,200, which do favor, and that leaves us with 800 who do not favor. So the answer here is 800. Wow. Number 20 is easier than number 19. There are 2,000 registered voters in Rolesville. 3/4 of these are Democrats. A survey indicated that 2/3 of the Democrats are in favor of Bond A. 3/4. Okay, how many voters are registered Democrat? So what we want to do here is we want to take 3/4 of 2,000, because there's 2,000 total voters. 4 goes into 2,000. Where did we just do this? Yeah, we just did this right here. It's 1,500. Okay, so that's how many are Democrats. 1,500 are Democrats. How many of these are not registered Democrats? Well, if there's 2,000 people and 1,500 are Democrats, then 500 are not Democrats. How many registered Democrats favor Measure A? Let's go up here. 2/3 of Democrats. Now remember, Democrats is 1,500. So we take 2/3 of 1,500. And that would be 3 goes into 1,500 500 times 2 is 1,000. And the last one, how many of the registered voters? So 3/4 of the other people. So 3/4 of the 500. And let's see. I'm going to use my calculator. Oh my goodness. 375. All right, those last word problems were pretty high-level thinking. So watch through this video a second time and practice that as you go along your hogs.